Hey guys, Icy Cat here. The next game in the Rainbow Six franchise was recently announced to be delayed, and now we have more specific information from Ubisoft regarding the fact that they're planning on making the next Rainbow Six game a next-generation release. Let's go over all the information next. So Ubisoft has come out and said that the new Rainbow Six title that is being released, a full standalone 3-player PvE co-op game titled Rainbow Six Quarantine, is now going to be pushed back along with plans to make it available on the next generation of consoles. That will be for the tentatively titled PS5 and Xbox Scarlet. During an investor call that was released earlier today, they wound up talking about how the plans for this game is that it would be cross-generational. In other words, it is going to be existing on the current series of platforms for PS4 and Xbox One, but that the game will also be available as an early launch title for PS5 and Xbox Scarlet, and that this would take advantage of all the features that the new hardware would bring to the game. Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot said that the titles that will be available on this generation and next generation of consoles will take full advantage of all the new features that are coming with the machines, which are actually going to be extremely interesting for players as you'll be able to download new content a lot faster. Players will experience better frame rate, so there are lots of very good elements that will come with those new machines. Now, within that same earnings call, Guillemot said that releasing early on a new console generation, despite how small the install base may start out as, is always a good idea because Ubisoft gets to continue selling the same game to new owners of these machines as time goes on. So it is officially confirmed that Rainbow Six Quarantine will be cross-generational. Now, it was already confirmed several months back that the plans for Rainbow Six Siege would also be cross-generational. So both Rainbow Six Siege and Rainbow Six Quarantine will be available on PS4, Xbox One, and PC currently. But if you get Rainbow Six Siege or Rainbow Six Quarantine on the PS5 or Xbox Scarlet, as they are tentatively being called at this point, you will experience enhanced features. The games themselves will still be the same because you're going to be able to play with other players across that generational gap. So it's not like you're going to have a fundamentally different game, but the experience will be enhanced. So we're talking about things like better frame rate, higher particle count, smoother animations, faster frame rates, things like that. When the cross-generational plans for Rainbow Six Siege were announced a few months back, they made the comparison between playing Siege on a high-end PC with all features turned on and playing the experience on a low-end PC with low settings. Both players can play in the same match using these different machines in these different settings, but one's visual experience is going to look very different than the other's. Now, these new generation of consoles are anticipated to launch around holiday 2020, so we may be looking at these titles being released another year from now, or it is possible that they may release a little bit before that and then simply be re-released on the new console at that point. We also know that the Ubisoft CEO on last week's earnings call had a bit of damage control to do with investors due to the lackluster responses from both Ghost Recon Breakpoint and Division 2. A few titles like Gods and Monsters, Watch Dogs Legion, and specifically Rainbow Six Quarantine were being taken out of their current release window and being delayed into the following fiscal year. So originally these games were slated to come out before April of 2020, now they're going to be coming out after April of 2020, and in the case of Quarantine at least, it looks like closer to holiday 2020. That extra development time will be used to enhance these games and make them better than they would have been had they come out in a few months. Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot was saying during last week's earnings call that they were really making this call based on the disappointing sales performance of both Ghost Recon Breakpoint and Division 2, and that they wanted to make sure that these games weren't being rushed out the development pipeline. So releasing a brand new title in the Rainbow Six franchise, Quarantine is going to be given a little bit more time to cook in the oven. Hopefully that means good things for all of us. Now, when I did my video announcing Quarantine's delay last week, there were a lot of comments asking for specifics about this game. What do we know about it? Some people were wondering if this was like a free expansion add-on or what the deal was going to be like it was during Operation Chimera when we got to play those 3 levels of this game for free. Now, at the time, those were kind of like experimental trial levels where they were trying something out, seeing how it would play, what the response was to it, what people thought about things. Those are probably not even going to be 3 exact levels from the game. They might be, or they might be something vastly different that gets changed between then and now. We do know that the game is centered around a 3-player PvE co-op experience. So it's not a 5-man team, it's a 3-man team. We also know that it uses up a team of existing Rainbow Six operators. We don't know which ones. During Chimera, we had a few familiar faces with the likes of characters such as Tachanka and Capcan and Doc. And then in a further updated trailer that wound up being released, we also saw some expanded DLC characters like Ella and Vigil being shown in that. Now, it's safe to say that probably not every Rainbow Six operator that's been released so far is going to be in this game, but that there will be a fair number of them available to play. And no, this game will not be free. This is intended to be a standalone game. Now, obviously, for that money, if they want to give us a campaign kind of experience for Rainbow Six, they're going to need a whole lot more depth than you could currently get out of those 3 maps that they gave us during Operation Chimera. How they'll generate that replayability remains to be seen. It's unknown if they'll have any PvP kind of experience in it, but we do know that it is a co-op campaign focused experience, which means if it does have any PvP, it'll probably be on the light end, leaving Rainbow Six Siege to be the primary PvP experience if it offers any at all. So what do you guys think about this news? Are you excited for Rainbow Six Quarantine? Is it exciting to have not 1, but 2 Rainbow Six titles that you'll be able to play on the next generation of consoles with cross-generation playability? Let me know down in the comments below what you think. And if you haven't already, please do like and subscribe. You can also follow me over at IcyCat25 on either Facebook or Twitter. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.